Home and Harvest, and Merry Christmas to you. We are just a couple of days away from Christmas. We're actually headed to church this morning. Tim's with me, Alex is in the back. Elle will be coming later. But I wanted to take this time. Hopefully this video will make it to you before Christmas. And I wanted to take this time to say Merry Christmas to you and to thank you all for being so supportive in your views this year. And just remember, if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, to do so. That helps me out so much here on YouTube. So today's video might be a little different to you. I just kind of set up the camera and let it play. I've had a lot of stuff going on this week. Some of it I might share with you in the video, but I'm just going to voice over everything and just go from there. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you'll find maybe some last minute gift ideas. All these are kind of like food related gifts, or you could use them for New Year's Eve appetizers if you do a New Year's Eve party. They'd be great for football season too. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on today's video, and I'll see you in the end. The first thing we're going to start off making today is slow cooker candy. Now this has become a tradition every year. I'll make this as gifts for family, friends, and our neighbors. And all you need is 2 cans of salted or unsalted, dry roasted, whatever you like, peanuts. You'll need some chocolate chips, some almond bark, and you can use peanut butter morsels, but I am just using peanut butter because that's what I had on hand. So basically you can put anything in this that you like. It all goes into a slow cooker on low for 2 hours. You just let it sit there and layer it in with the almond bark. Oh, almond bark, that's the other thing. You need about 1.5 pounds of almond bark. And as it's in the slow cooker for a couple of hours, it will all meld together. Once it's done, we'll come back and stir it, and I'll show you the next step. All right, now we're assembling something that is brand new to me this year. This is graham cracker toffee. This was one of the easiest things that I have ever made, and it is so delicious. The family really enjoyed it. All my friends enjoyed it, and I've had people ask me, how do you make this? Definitely make this again next year. So all you need is some graham crackers, pecans, butter, corn syrup. I'm going to link all the recipes down below. I just printed them off online, and I'll have those linked for you down below. You'll see I am watching some YouTube myself in the background, and today's choice is Acre Homestead. I always switch back between different ones, but Becky is someone that I watch throughout the year on occasion, and I love the videos when her mom and sister come over and she goes to her mom's house and they cook and prepare big meals for the holidays. So if you haven't checked out Acre Homestead, be sure to do that. You'll enjoy her channel, especially if you like this one. So I'm just combining together the syrup that's going to go on top of this toffee. It's butter, I think some corn syrup, I'm not sure, but like I said, I will link all this down below. And you just basically stir this until you get it to a good rolling boil, and then you just let it come together until it's smooth. You remove it from your heat source, and then you add in about 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So that's what I'm doing, just here waiting patiently and putting all this together. Now, the reason for today's video and why it's just me voicing over some things is because this is the week before Christmas, and it was a rather rough week for me physically. I won't go into details, but I did end up in the ER with some issues going on and ended up going home with a 2-week heart monitor. So we're just evaluating some things. Everything checked out in the ER, but I did end up with some symptoms that they did not like. So they sent me home with a heart monitor to just monitor the next couple of weeks. And of course, sometimes the holidays, though they shouldn't, can add a little bit more stress than our normal day-to-day life. So I'm just trying to take it easy the days leading up to Christmas, and I wanted to get this filmed for you. I really wanted to get it out for you before Christmas, but Tim suggested just turn on the camera and just let it roll. Don't talk. You can just add this later or don't use the video, whatever you want to do. So I just thought I would put together what I was doing, kind of voice over, and then add the links to the recipes down in the description box. That way, if you see something you really would like to try, then you'll have the recipe there that you can print out, but you won't necessarily get my step-by-step instructions today, just because I'm trying to make this video very minimal. All right, so as this is coming together, like I said, patience is key on this, and you do have to constantly stir it. But soon it will come together, probably 2 or 3 minutes before it gets to that smooth consistency that you're looking for. So you'll see me adding in the vanilla there, and now it's time to just pour this over our graham cracker and pecans. And so that syrup, I've got the directions now, is 2 sticks of butter, a half cup of sugar, and that teaspoon of vanilla. That's it. Very simple ingredients. And then you just kind of spread that with a fork. It goes into a preheated 350-degree oven until you see it start to bubble, about 8 to 10 minutes, and you remove it from the oven and let it completely cool. All right, we're moving on to another brand new recipe for me this year. This is called maple glazed spice nuts. I picked up a really large jar of these at Sam's Club, and so it already had all of the mixed nuts together, and it was an assortment: cashews, almonds, hazelnuts, pecans, pistachios. So I'm just using that. You need about 4 cups, and then into my saucepan, I've got 1/4 of a cup of pure maple syrup. I'm gonna add in a teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 of a teaspoon of sea salt, 1/8 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. And you can also add in a pinch of cayenne if you want a little heat in there. So that's totally a preference for you there. And then you just get this heated up over medium heat until it's warm. You don't have to bring it to a boil. And then you just drizzle that warm syrup mixture over the nuts and then toss the nuts to coat. And then you will spread them out on your parchment-lined baking sheet and bake them in a preheated 325-degree oven for about 12 to 15 minutes until your nuts are brown and fragrant. And I noticed that this did not take long at all. However, the trick is to let these completely cool before you kind of start messing with them, because they will be sticky, but once they completely cool, they will harden enough where you can kind of break them apart and they don't stick together as bad. All right, now we are breaking up our toffee, and I did let this completely cool. It's a lot easier to work with once it's completely cooled. Now you can stand here and break it in half, or you can do what I'm getting ready to do here in just a minute and use a knife to just kind of cut everything, and then you'll have it in equal pieces. And that was a little bit easier, but really, either way you slice it, it all comes out the same. This was delicious. In fact, I'm getting ready to give you a spoiler alert and tell you that everything I'm making today, I will make again. It was all so delicious, and I kind of ran out of time, but I could have made like personalized little tags for them with a Cricut or something, but instead I just did some handwritten labels, and I will show you that later on in the video. But this is definitely worth your time. Both of these, absolutely delicious. You guys, it is time. It's been 2 hours on low for our slow cooker candy. It's time to give it a good stir. Mix all of this together. It smells amazing in this kitchen right now. And then you are just going to get some wax paper, and I just put them on my counter, but you could put the wax paper on baking sheets if you wanted to. I've got the space here tonight to just lay everything out on the counter, and then I'm using a teaspoon, like a cookie scoop, and I'm just scooping it out in piles. And then you have to be extra patient. This takes probably a good 4 to 5 hours, maybe longer, depending on the temperature of your house, to completely cool. Then you take a little spatula and just pop those off your wax paper, put them in an airtight container, and you will be able to enjoy them for weeks and weeks. Now, our next thing that we are making is, some people call these candied almonds. I call these cinnamon sugar almonds. I have always been a big fan of the cinnamon sugar almonds, and you used to be able to get them at Walmart, and now they don't have them anymore. The Great Value brand, I have not seen them. They're not at our Walmart. So I decided to try my hand at making some. And all you need is about 3 cups of raw almonds. And I am putting together the cinnamon sugar mixture. So this is 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar, a teaspoon of sea salt, and 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. Give that a stir, set it aside, and then we are getting ready to whip up an egg white and 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Now, once we get this completely combined, and you are really just going to combine it until it gets frothy. So about a minute here, and I'm using my whisk feature on my hand mixer. And like I said, about a minute to get that frothiness that you want. And then you just toss your almonds, your 3 cups of almonds, in the egg white mixture, get them nice and coated. And then you will sprinkle your cinnamon sugar on them and get them coated in the cinnamon sugar. Now here is the key, so pay attention to this. You do not want to use any parchment paper. You want to just grease a baking pan. Something about the parchment paper will cause them to really stick to the parchment, and then you won't be able to get them off the pan. So it does make a mess on your pan, but I found that if you just run some hot water and some dish soap in your pan after you take these off the pan, let it sit for a little bit, you can get that sugar mixture right off your pan. So don't worry about that. These things do need to be babysat a little, so I'm spreading them out in my prepared pan. I have my oven preheated to 250 degrees, and you're going to bake these for 1 hour. But here's the key. You've got to take them out and stir them every 15 minutes. Don't skip this step. It's very important. So stir them after 15 minutes, pop them back in for 15, stir them again, pop them back in for 15, stir them again, cook for that additional 15 minutes to total out the hour, and then let them cool completely. And again, your house is going to smell amazing. It's going to be really hard not to dive in and eat all these. You can eat them warm. They were really good warm, or you can enjoy them by storing them in an airtight container at room temperature, or you can even pop these in the freezer if you want to have them later in the year. That is recommended as well. And like I said, I will link all of these recipes below for you so that you can print them out and have them for yourself. But everything I made, an absolute hit, and I will definitely be making it again next year. So these are great gifts to give, but I think even better as like snacks, just to snack on for your Super Bowl parties, for your New Year's Eve parties, for birthday parties, for just hanging out with friends, maybe having a game night. I love game nights, and that's something that we don't do a lot of. So I plan to incorporate that in 2025, and I'm looking to learn the game Rook. If you play Rook, let me know. Is it easy to learn? Because that is something on my list. I would love to learn how to play that. All right, here's a shot at all of our gifts, and they all just turned out so amazing. All right, guys, well, that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If I don't see you before the new year, I hope you have a very happy new year and that you've had a Merry Christmas, or that you're having a Merry Christmas. So from all of us, Merry Christmas. And until next time, remember to live simply, use what you have, enjoy the moments you've been given, and we'll see you all in the next one.